Hey, third graders. Today we are going to talk about comparing fractions because you have a comparing fractions activity today in your Google Classroom. But before we do, there's two things I wanted to tell you. First thing is that comments weren't working in my Google Classroom. I had it where you couldn't comment. So I fixed that. So now you can comment on my Google Classroom if you need me. I was like, nobody's commenting or needing me. So I went and looked at my settings, and now I know why. I had it disabled. So leave comments in my Google Classroom. Y'all been doing really good at emailing me though. But leave comments in Google Classroom if you need me. Second thing is I want to make sure that everybody out there is doing their work. It's very important that you are doing these assignments daily as they are assigned to you, or that's going to be a lot of makeup work that you're going to have to make up once we get back. So it's going to be so much better if you keep up with it each day like we are giving it to you on your Google Classroom. I have a lot of people that aren't doing it, so I want to make sure that you're taking time to do all your math activities, your reading activities, and that one little science study island a day, because it's very important that we are continuing our education while we are at home, just like we would as if we were at school. So make sure you're doing your work. Okay, those are the two things I want to talk to you about. Now let's talk about fractions. Let's remember first what we learned about before we left. We were talking about a fraction. So here, if I show you this fraction, it's weird teaching and not having you answer me. I'm used to you telling me what all this means. But let's remember that this number is called our numerator and this number is called our denominator. Our denominator tells us, normally I would have you tell me what that means, but you're not here. So that denominator is how many equal parts that whole has been partitioned into. It tells us the size of each piece that the whole has been divided into. So if we had, I don't know, you know how I love to relate fractions to food. So we will pretend we're not just going to call this a rectangle. We're going to call this a candy bar. So if I had this candy bar, this denominator right here tells me that it has been partitioned into 8 equal parts. So I would partition it in half, then in half again, and then each fourth I would half. It's not the straightest candy bar, and if I did this, if I partitioned this into 8 equal parts, then each part would be how big? Yes, you're right. Each piece is, I gotta make my parts a little more equal. Each piece is a 1/8 size piece. Very good. So I have one candy bar here that I've partitioned into 8 equal parts because my denominator is 8, which tells me that each piece is a 1/8 piece. And then we have our numerator. And what does our numerator tell us? Yes, you're right. Our numerator tells us that we have 3 of those 1/8 pieces. So if I can even get another color marker, let me grab my bag over here. It means I have 3 of those 1/8 pieces. So 1, 2, 3. I have shaded in 3 1/8 pieces. So shaded in, I have, oh, that wasn't good. Let's try that again. I have 3/8 shaded, and I have how many fraction pieces not shaded? Yes, you're right. That means I have 5/8 not shaded. So that's what we are learning about fractions before we left. 3/8 could be decomposed into unit fractions as a 1/8 piece plus another 1/8 piece plus another 1/8 piece. All right, so let's get into this comparing fractions. Now that we reviewed all that, it didn't erase very good. I'm using I'll have to clean that later. Okay, so let's compare fractions. Let's compare fractions first that have the same, well, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to tell me what you notice. So I have 4, 6, and I have, let's see, 2, 6. Okay, what do you notice about these fractions? You are right. I'm so glad you're not forgetting this. They have the same denominator. And when we compare fractions that have the same denominator, what does that mean? Exactly. All the pieces are the same size. They're all the same size pieces. So what tells us that? Our denominator. Our denominator tells us that each of these wholes have been partitioned into 6 equal parts. And so each piece is a 1/6 size piece. So 4 6, that means I have 4 of the 1/6 pieces. So I have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. I have 4 1/6 pieces. This means, what does this mean? You're exactly right. I only have 2 1/6 pieces. All right, so which one's more? Which one's greater than? Over here I have 4 1/6 pieces. Over here I have 2 1/6 pieces. You're exactly right. 4 6 is greater than 2 6. Because why? I have more 1/6 pieces. Very good. 4 6 has more 1/6 pieces than 2 6. You are so smart. I knew that you were not going to forget this. All right, let's try another one. Let's try 3, 6, and let's try 3 12. All right, tell me what you notice. You're exactly right. The numerators are the same this time. This time we have the same numerators and different denominators. So we can't compare how many pieces we have because we have, our numerator tells us how many and we have the same amount. So now we got to look to the denominator and we've got to compare the size of the pieces. So we're asking ourselves, what's bigger, 6th or 12ths? Now, I know really quick, right? I know the answer to this. I know the answer. It's this, right? Because 12 is bigger than 6. Miss Byington, I thought you were going to give us something hard while we were gone. I hope somebody watching this video out there is screaming at me saying, Miss Byington, no, that's not right. That is not a 12, and that is not a 6. When we have fractions, this is now 6th, and this is 12th. So we can't just look at this and say, oh, 12 is bigger than 6, because that's not a 12, remember? And that's not a 6 anymore. Now it is a fractional part. So we call that 6 and 12ths. Very different than 6 and 12. So no right there. We are going to have to compare these sizes, and let's get a picture of what this looks like. 3, 6. I'm going to draw 2 holes right on top of each other. Here's my 2-hole candy bars. There I go again with the candy bars. 3, 6, and 3, 12ths. I'm going to show each one. I'm going to divide or partition this one into 6. I like to do thirds first, and then half my thirds. That gives me 1/6 size pieces. Each piece is a 1/6 size piece. Then down here, I'm going to partition this one into 12ths to show 3 12ths. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces right there. 11 lines gives me 12 pieces. So not 11 pieces, but 11 lines. Because when you draw 11 lines, it gives you 12 equal pieces. All right. Sorry, I got to fix that because that doesn't look like a 6 at all. There we go. All right, so now I'm not going to go through, even though I know each one of these is a 1/12 piece right here because it's been partitioned into 12 equal parts. I'm just going to look at the size of these fractions. Can you tell just by looking at the size of each piece which one is bigger, 6th or 12th? My 1/6 piece is, let me get another color and color that in. I'm going to color in 3 6 right here. First of all, I could just color in one of them, and I could tell my 6th are much bigger than my 12ths. So 3 1/6 pieces right here, and 3 1/12 pieces. Well, which one is greater? Yes, you are right. 3 6 is greater than 3 12ths. So don't make that mistake of looking at that denominator and thinking, oh, 12 is bigger than 6. Remember, we have learned, no. This is 12ths and this is 6ths. So you'll really have to compare those sizes. Which is a bigger piece? 6 are bigger pieces than 12ths. Think back to that gator pie that we did in class. Speaking of which, later on today, I'm going to be uploading on my YouTube channel little clips from our gator pie activity so you can remember when we made that pie and partitioned it into different pieces. Some people had 3 people in their group. Some people had 8 people in their group. And what happened? The people who had 8 people in their group had to partition it into 8s and they were like, Anna Grace was like, this isn't fair. My piece is so small. The people who had 3 people in their group and partitioned their pie into thirds, they had bigger pieces. Remember, that's comparing denominators. That's comparing the size. That's what this is. This is like, oh, I have 12 people in my group. My pie is going to be divided into 12ths. And I have 6 people in my group, and my pie is going to be divided into 6. Which piece is going to be bigger? Oh, the 6. I don't have to share it with as many people, so the pieces are going to be bigger. That's what you think. So I'm going to upload some pictures and videos from our gator pie activity so you can remember that too while we get into fractions. Today, I have a quiz for you on Google Classroom. We were going to do this on Friday when we were out. I want you to draw your pictures. Draw your pictures like we learned. Get a scratch piece of paper and draw your fraction strips. We've been using those fraction strips in class. Draw those fraction strips to help you, okay? Do not just go through and answer them. Really try, like I would make you in class. Really try and draw those fraction strips and do everything you can to make sure you get that right. Think. What do I know? What's the numerator telling me? What's the denominator telling me? Okay. Comments are open now, like I said. So leave comments on my Google Classroom if you need to. I'm about to upload this video, and I'm going to upload some Gator Pie videos, and I want y'all to work on these comparing fractions today, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, y'all have a good day. Y'all have a fun day. Learn today. Do your work today. Have some fun today. Go outside today. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.